Hey YouTube, welcome back. We're on day 16. Day 16 of walking and talking. We're learning at the same time. We're going over everything that's on YouTube, looking at channels, analyzing the data, presenting the facts to you. And today, what we're going to talk about is going to be how to create a, forgot to tell you, it's windy today, and I mean real windy today. And I hope that the voice is being picked up without as much wind blowing. But we're on day 16, and we're going to be talking about, in order to create a YouTube channel, the first thing you have to do is log on to your browser, like your internet browser, whether you're using, I'm not sure, they've got the Apple and Windows-based PCs, but to keep them getting too technical, go out to Google, google.com, and create an account. That's the first thing you have to do. You have to go to Google and create a Google account, because Google and YouTube, they're under the same family. That's a good way of putting it. The same family tree, in that I think that YouTube is owned by Google. That's what I mean by that. So in order to create a YouTube account, and this is just for the beginners, go to Google and create an account post. And that is going to allow you to now be able to go into YouTube. Because once you go to YouTube, it's going to ask you to provide your Google account data when you get ready to create a channel. Because it's all tied together. It's like the systems, I'm not going to say tracking you, but it wants to know who you are, So if you upload some stuff, they can send you an email and say, hey man, take that stuff down. Possibly, But the first thing you want to do is create a Google account. That's the very first thing you have to do before you can create a YouTube account. The next thing you have to do is this. You have to create a YouTube channel. All right, now that's totally different from creating a Google account. You've now gone over to YouTube. You've signed in. Now you want to create a channel, a YouTube channel. And this is how you create your YouTube channel. The first thing you want to do is click on your profile picture. And here's what I mean by your profile picture. In the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a little bitty round thing. And watch this here too. When you first go out there, you're not going to probably have your picture loaded. Man, they say click on your profile picture, but you probably don't have your picture loaded. But what Google and YouTube automatically default to is it's going to use like the first initial of your last name. So it's going to be like a little bitty round small circle in the upper right-hand corner. Click on it. And once you click on it, it's going to give you a drop-down button to allow you to create a YouTube channel. Now, let's go ahead and take that one step further. Okay? And what I mean by take that further is this here. When you create your channel, and here's what a lot of people end up doing wrong, and they have to make some changes. But YouTube will allow you to make the changes. I think it allows you to make changes like every 2 weeks. But here, you want to create a channel name. Now, let me tell you why that's important. The name here. If you just create a channel name that's got your last name and some numbers, people are not going to really know what that's about or who you are or nothing like that. So when you create your channel name, make it something that you want everybody to know. Like, here's an example. I want to be talking about books on my channel. Call it Talking Books. Or if you want to talk about let's say celebrities, put the word celebrity in there somewhere. Celebrity talks. Just make your channel name something that's relevant to what you're going to be talking about for the most part. Because when you create a channel, you're probably going to be uploading content, and you want it to reflect what you're going to be talking about for the most part. So the next thing, that's what I was just saying, the next thing you do is you create a good name. So make sure you do that. All right. Now, the next thing that we have to do is this here. Create some custom art. Let's call it that. In that you have to do this here. You can get somebody to prepare this for you, or you can do it yourself, like using PowerPoint or something. But you want to create some custom art for your channel. And that is, you want to put in a banner. They call it a banner. And on your home page, you're going to have a strip across the top. And then you're going to have a little big old round button on the left. That banner is that piece that's on the very top, a long rectangular piece. You can create a banner. You can just put in words or anything like that. But, most people like to, have a little colorful artwork right there. And here's an example. Here's what you can do. You can just go to anybody's web YouTube page and just click on it, and then just click to look at their videos. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring up their home page, and it'll give you an example of what a banner looks like. But that banner is the piece at the top. And on this station here, for this channel, if you look, you'll see the What's Next banner. It's a black banner with the logo What's Next. And it was easily created. I just used a black background and some text. Then just cut it out in PowerPoint, paste it. But that's the next thing you want to do. You want to create some artwork and start off with the banner, because then you'll start feeling like you're getting in the game. You feel like you're in the game then. Be like, oh man, this is unique to me now. After that banner, I mentioned that little round button. There's going to be a big old round circle on the left-hand side. And it's probably got a big old M if your last name begins with the M. A big old T if your last name begins with the T. But that little bitty round thing right there, that is where most people put in their profile picture or their channel picture. Like, say, for example, if you look at the What's Next, looking at the videos and then go to their page, you'll see a big old round black background with What's Next on it. It looks almost exactly, well, it is exactly like the banner. I kept it simple. But you want to go ahead and put in your profile picture. Now, what you can do, here's what a lot of folks do too. They just take some little clip art and put it in there and just make that the profile picture. If you want to remain anonymous or something like that. But for the most part, people will also stick in like a photo. You can just find a picture of yourself. And what you do is when you get ready to load it, the round circle is going to pop up, right? Where it allows you to move it left and right and center it. And you can kind of, like bring it in, to make it smaller. That's one way of putting it. But It's going to be real easy, but that's the next thing you do. You put that in, and you can put this on, put it on pause or stop until you can get to that point if you're walking along with it, doing it as we're talking, because I'm giving you step by step. And let's see, after you do your profile picture, the next thing you're gonna do is there's gonna be a section where you have to put in like a description of your channel. That section where you put in the description of your channel, it's called the about me. And all it does is say, oh, here, I'm gonna keep it simple, just so you can, just for this conversation. Oh, it's windy out here. I know the wind just picked up then. But the about me section, all you do is put in something like this here. We're a channel. I'm just going to give you an example. We're a channel that we look at dogs, and we look at the various types of dogs. And this is just a rough example. Like, say, for example, if you're going to be putting a lot of videos out there about dogs or something. See, we look at dogs and we go to dog shows and not trade shows, but dog shows and stuff. And but you keep it simple. You just tell in the about me, you're just telling everybody what you do. What your station is about. You had the picture to show them what it was about, but now you're putting in text, because some folks just go out there and just read the text and see what it's about before they click on the page. You go, oh yeah, this is what I'm looking for. So the be page is what you do next. All right. Now that you got the about me information typed in, let's go ahead and look at what's next. What's next is going to be the links. Here's why links are important. You want to put links in there because links can take people to your other social media pages. Like, here's an example. You're doing something on Instagram. You're doing something on Facebook. You want somebody to see the whole picture. The YouTube is one arm of it. So you're giving them the full picture. So you can put in multiple links too. Not just one. You can put in multiple. You can put in a link for your Twitter and TikTok, and you can put in all kinds of links. But utilize that too, because it beautifies the page. It makes it look more professional. Let's just put it that way. It makes it look more professional. So you put in the links, and the links. Oh, let me go one step deeper on the links. Everybody know how to do links, but just for clarity and to make sure I'm keeping everything in order, a link is nothing but the URL, or it's nothing but the link to how to get to it. And everybody knows, well, here, let me just take it one step further. All you have to do is go to, let's say, Instagram or Twitter or TikTok or just anything. You just right click on it, copy that address to it, how to get there, and then come back over here. Go up to YouTube's links right there, put in this section right there, the link section, and right click and paste it. Hit the enter button so that it'll turn blue. Because if you just put it in there, well, it still will turn blue, but just hit the enter button so that it'll allow you to put in another link right below it. But to keep it clear, we're making it real simple. We're breaking it down. We're breaking it down for you. All right. After that, we've got the links in. The next step you want to take is this. They call it planning your content. That means identifying, and I just talked about, I gave an example of, somebody talking about dogs. It's identifying the niche that you're going to be in. And what you do is you want to stick with a specific niche, because watch this here. And I'm beginning to learn this here. And I'm learning the hard way. And I wish I had done a little bit more research. But this is no joke, and this is what I'm beginning to figure out. That algorithm don't like anybody that's bouncing all over the place. Trust me when I tell you that. The algorithm do not like it when you bounce all over the place. Here's what I mean by that, and getting a niche. Like, say, for example, you're talking about dogs one day, and then the next day you're talking about trains one day. Then the next day, and when I say talking about it, I mean, you're uploading content. Then the next day you're talking about being a fashion designer. But you see what I'm saying? We're all over the place. We're giving content about how to be a fashion designer, how to drive trains or something like that. Hey, but that's pretty good. That's a how-to. Believe it or not, that was a good example, but a bad example because that would stick with like how-tos. But nonetheless, you don't want to be bouncing all over the place. If you're going to talk about something, put some content up to where you want to get monetized. What you want to do is you want to get with one subject matter. Get with just one and just stick with it. And I'm beginning to see that that might be part of the secret to that algorithm picking you up. I'm working on him. I'm going to grab him by the neck pretty soon, and I'm going to be like, I'm in here, man. And that was sort of a bad example, grabbing him by the neck. Here's what I mean. I'm going to put a chokehold on him. That sounded even worse, man. But what I mean is I want to grab that so that it'll put me in the rotation. We're sending out my content. Okay, what's the next thing we want to talk about here? The next thing under that planning, is going to be this here. We talked about you have to identify that niche, right? Now, if you've done that, go ahead and then put up a calendar. And I don't mean put up a calendar like you're going to be daggone looking at dates and times. I mean a calendar like you're going to be uploading certain videos at certain times, certain days. If you just do something simple like, man, I'm just going to put up some content once a week, for an example. You just have to have a calendar and say, I'm going to do it every Sunday, or I'm going to do it every Tuesday. And I don't recommend once a week. I'm all for like a lot of content and, doing it quite often. That way you can get your name out. I ain't even talk about that when it comes to a content calendar. That falls under a content calendar. And that is, do it frequently. Develop that calendar. When you're going to do it. Oh, here's another thing too. Putting it up at the same time. They say that the algorithm likes that. Like if you put it up at the same time all the time, like you just say, I'm going to upload my videos at noon. You just say, I'm going to upload my videos at noon. That's supposed to help. And I'm in the midst of trying to verify this stuff. I'm going to get it too. And once I get all the secrets, I'm going to lay it all out for you so that, we're on this journey together because, I'm bringing y'all along with me. I'm taking y'all to the next level. It ain't nothing but a matter of time. I'm hoping. Yeah, but I believe it's going to work out in time, though. All right. We just did the content calendar. So make sure you stick with that content calendar piece. You want to make sure you do that. The next thing I would say is brainstorm your ideas. Brainstorm your ideas mean that you want to make sure, and this sounds like I'm teaching, but I don't want to teach. I want to just give you some info. But this is a big piece. Brainstorm your ideas, because when you do that, that means what you're doing is you're thinking about your audience, the people that's going to be looking at your stuff or your videos. I don't want to say stuff. That just sounds weak. But the people who's going to be looking at your videos, and you want to give them something consistent. And I just used that word a minute ago. I'm saying it again. Because you want people to become interested in it. And one of the ways to become interested in anything is you have to have something in a consistent flow. And what I mean by that is, if somebody came to your channel, they set you up as one of their favorites, and they know that they can come to you for certain information. Whenever they have a need of that, they're going to come right to your channel. But if they went to a channel and one day they're talking about cars, and then the next day they're talking about things going to the moon, stuff like that, man, they ain't gonna mess with you. Trust me when I tell you that, they ain't gonna even mess with you and be like, man, I don't know what that station is about, but it's not gonna be memorable. So that means you're not gonna pique their interest. So what you want to do is make sure you follow this format, because I'm keeping it simple. And this is a new station here, but we're growing. We're gonna be up there one day. And if you go through each walk too, I'm gonna pull you with me. We're gonna be going, if you just echo what I'm doing or do something similar to what I'm doing and follow these steps here, you're gonna be going right to the top 50. And you're gonna enjoy this journey. You're gonna be like, man, I hooked up that good. He had a belief. And he pulled it off. And man, I was right there at the beginning. Here, watch this here. It's like they call this thing IPO, initial public offering, when they talk about stocks and stuff, right? And they were like, oh man, I wish I had got in on Apple stock. You've heard that. And when you hear stuff like that, that means people living in regret because they saw it at the time, but they just didn't really feel it. So they didn't take a chance, and they missed that opportunity. And I'm telling you, you keep up with what I'm doing, I'm gonna pull you to the top like Apple Video. It's called belief, and I've got belief. If nothing else, I've got belief. But anyway, let's get back to all of our 2024, 2025 updates on this channel. Got sidetracked. Had to stick a little bit of variety in there so that you don't make it, so that it doesn't feel like you're in a classroom. Yeah, let's call it that, a classroom. And that was well put. But anyway, okay. We've got everything in place now. The channel is all set up. Our YouTube account has been set up. You had to create that before you did the channel setup. But now, the next thing you have to do? Start recording. And here's what you got to do. Video recording is not complex, but you have to follow certain formats in order to do it right. So that YouTube is not going to push any videos that don't have quality in them. If I'm not saying don't do it, but here's an example. If you have something in 720p, they'll push it. They will. But if you have something in 1080p, which is better, 4K, which is even better, you can do 5K. A lot of 5K cameras, a lot of that equipment is expensive. But anyway, my point is, do some quality video recording. Quality video recording. That's key, because when stuff look good and people, here's an example. I'm looking at television one day when I first got a 4K TV, and I was like, man, it looks so real. It made me enjoy my TV even more because everything looked better. That's the same with video recording. When things look good, people are going to tend to like it better. So video record piece, make sure you follow that. And one of the other things is sticking with the video editing piece. Now, this is where I struggled initially, and I'm coming along. I'm not there yet. I'm not there, but I'm coming along. And that's this here, the editing piece, where it can't look like you don't have the right transitions, but editing piece, pulling stuff out so that your conversation, if you're talking about something, your conversation won't be jumping all over the place. Let me give you an example about the video editing piece. Watch this here. If I'm talking about something, if all of a sudden I go, oh man, I was talking about something else, blah, 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 and I'm rambling, cut the rambling out. When you start editing, just keep it strictly on the subject matter. That way you're maintaining their attention. So you're keeping people engaged. All right. Now, the video editing piece, we just went through that. Let's, the next piece you have to do. Now, this is for beginners now. I'm trying to help y'all along. Add some, sound effects and add some, music. I don't care what anybody tell you. They can tell you anything they want to tell you. I'm going to tell you this here. And this is from what I've experienced so far. Sound effects and music makes it better. Like, there's what they call a swoosh. You know, like when they swing between videos, it go whoosh or whoosh. You know, that's a swishing sound. That's my interpretation of a swishing sound. But, man, I see that. And when I first saw that, I didn't even catch it initially. But then I focused on it. I was like, oh man, they made me feel like I transitioned with the video. And that was just a sound effect. And a lot of these sound effects are free. You know, you don't have to go and buy nothing. You know, you just go out there and Google free sound effects. And swoosh, SWOOSH or something like that. And it'll give you a little sound effect. And here's another thing too. Music can make something boring come to life. Now, here's an example. You're looking at a video and it's somebody dancing. This is just an example. You see somebody dancing, but if they're just dancing and it's all video, you don't see nothing else. You don't hear nothing else. You just see all video. Man, it ain't gonna look like nothing. But if you put some music to it and you see those same folks dancing, you'll be like, man, that's my song. You'll even get into it. You'll be like, my point is, it brings the video out. So add music, add sound effects. Do both. Make sure you do both because it's going to help your video become, let's call it user friendly. I like that. It's going to help your video have more quality. That's my point. Yeah. And, you know, even the music does, you know, and the, you know, sound effects does a lot to a video. But here's another thing. Add graphics and text because you want graphics and text in your stuff because it'll walk the person along with it. Like, here's an example. Like on this video, when I get done editing, you'll see it. I'm going to show some text. It's going to scroll across the screen that says what I'm talking about. Because it'll help you because, you know, you can hear one thing, but when you see something, it helps you understand it even more. So I'm going to stick some text in this video. Man, that's a good example. I'm going to stick some text in this video and you'll see it swing across the top like say, for example, I talked about something like adding music. I'm going to have a little text thing to come across that says add music, and watch. You'll see by the time you get to this section, that would have probably already have played, but you'll see that it's going to add to the video because you've been told to one thing and you've been shown one thing. Yeah. Told one thing and shown, talking and then seeing, So it's two different things. But that's the importance of text and graphics. And man, I tell you what, oh man, speaking of graphics, let me tell you another thing too. They've got a lot of free tools out there that you can use where you can use like text that's like laser text. Like your words look like it's in like a laser format, or like for an example, let's say today, the word today, T-O-D-A-Y. It looks like one thing when it's in regular text, but if it's in laser text, it looks even better. It'd be like, oh man, people be like, haven't seen that kind of stuff before. But graphics can bring out a daggone video. So keep that in mind as you starting your new channel. Incorporate text and graphics in your videos. Let's see. Next thing we want to talk about is going to be what they call optimizing your video. And don't let no word optimize intimidate you. That stuff is real simple. Only thing they mean by that is putting everything in there that needs to be, filling out all the blanks. That's what it means. Optimize means fill out all the blanks. Like you do, like if you're taking a test in school, for an example, fill out all the blanks. Even if it's with the wrong answer, fill something in because you might get credit. But you have to do that. You have to optimize your video. And what I mean by that is this. You have to put in a title. Just a matter of fact, I don't think YouTube will let you release it without putting in a title. But there's some more things that they don't require you to. But if you optimize it, then you're standing a better chance of getting your video out there successfully. Like a title, making sure you have a description, making sure you'll see that box once you create your first video. There's a description. And let me tell you what you ought to do for a description. Let me tell you what I struggle with. Watch this here. I spent a lot of time thinking, like, oh man, how can I word this here to where they understand what I'm talking about? I'm going to give you a real good example. Let's go back to dogs. Real simple dogs. You want to talk about dogs. And you want to talk about how high dogs can jump, for an example, right? And you're sitting there trying to think of, am I using the period the right way and the comma? And am I wording this right? And grammar, is my grammar right? Don't do all that stuff. Let me tell you what I've learned. Go to this, Google has a Bard, or Bard is now Gemini, right? Man, go to that sucker. Man, that daggone little AI tool, it'll take years off of you. It'll save you years of life. What I mean by, you just tell it what you want it to, just say, hey, I want to talk about how high dogs jump. It'll go ahead and you can ask it, and it'll lay out this paragraph for you. Punctuation correct, words spelled right. You don't have to do anything but copy and paste. And man, I tell you, a lot of folks will be like, oh, but you're using AI. Well, guess what? Get with the program. It's here. That's what the new form of learning is. They're saying do stuff with speed instead of bogging down for a long time and then getting it wrong. Do this stuff with speed and get it right. So it's here. So go ahead and make sure you do that. Optimize it and put in everything, like your tags and stuff. Make sure you put in a tag. Let me tell you what a tag is. A tag is, there's a box where you have to put in a pound sign, a word and then a comma. Like when you're typing it on the keyboard. Like say, for example, I want to do a video about trees, right? And I want to have some tags because the tags is what tells the algorithm who to send it to. So you can just put in there tree lovers. There's an example. You can put on there tree lovers and it'll go to arborist or something like that. That's too big of a word. I ain't like that. Let's see, say tree climbers. But if you're talking about trees, put the word tree in there. And then when I said the pound sign and the comma, you can just put the word in there. But the pound sign is like the format that they like. You know, you put the pound sign, you put the word, then you put a little comma after it. And then it'll actually be distributed to all of those people who love trees. It'll go all to anybody who like trees or have been searching on trees, and the algorithm know that they like trees. It'll send your video towards them. So that's why it's important to optimize. All right, let's see what we have next. What do we have next? Here's what we have. Promote your channel. Promote your channel. Here's what I mean by that. One day, you may just start off making videos, right? And you can be doing it for fun. But then one day, you're going to learn, oh man, YouTube having a monetization? What's a monetization? Oh, they actually pay, some people for creating content because they're called content creators. Oh, man, it's new. I never heard of that. Yeah, that's gonna hit you. It didn't hit me for years. I mean, I'm 10, 15, at least 15 years behind the game. Well, behind in the game, or behind everybody else. 15 years behind everybody else. I'm sitting here not even knowing that this is an option that they provided. But you're going to wake up one day and go, oh, hopefully, no, I'm going to take that back. I hope you start off thinking about that. In that you look for the monetization piece first, and that is, hey, you can create videos, but you can make yourself memorable. Like, look at some of these TV stars. I can look at certain TV shows. Them people been dead and gone for a long time. 40, 50, 60 years. Jackie Gleason, and I'm talking about a black and white movie there. Gilligan's Island. And man, that was one of my favorite shows there. But they're still relevant. They're still important to people. Well, important to me. I mean, who truly is. I mean, especially Gilligan's Island. But I lost my focus just there. But that is important to me, and I didn't want to pass that up. But not only are you creating a little legacy, you can actually monetize it. And I'm like, hey man, didn't nobody tell me that 15 years ago? Well, I would have been in the game. I mean, nobody even mentioned it. And I'm going to tell you how it hit me. It hit me so nonchalantly. It hit me like this here. I'm with a little kid that's only about nine years old. I'm with a 9-year-old kid. And that's how I found out about it. That's when I heard of this Ryan's World. I'm like, what do you mean he's a billionaire now? Because I used to watch him, and I mean, I've talked about this before, but this is one that deserves talking about again. I had been watching him look at this little kid on TV, and then he tells me that little boy is a billionaire. I'm like, what do you mean? That was a regular old family. They ain't become a billionaire. I used to be in their living room looking at them. I mean, I wasn't physically in their living room, but I mean, I'm looking at it on TV with him. And now I find out he tells me that the little boy is a billionaire. I do a little research, find out it's true. And I'm like, man, didn't nobody tell me that this was an opportunity. But now I know. Now, but here, back to what I'm telling you that the first thing you need to do is think that first. You can think about video content and hope that things go well, but think that, because here's what it's going to do. It'll make you start taking it seriously. You'll start saying, hey, this is a business. I'm going to treat this like a business. And man, all of a sudden, you'll go in there with the mindset of, I'm going to treat this like a business. And before you know it, you're creating excellent content because you're treating it like a business instead of a joke. But, when I say the joke piece, I mean, you can have joking videos and have fun. But I'm saying that in the context of, you'll be doing it seriously. You'll be trying to, oh yeah, I'm going to look at my lighting. I'm going to make sure, I'm not real blurry and grainy looking. So I'm going to make sure I got the right lights, and I'm going to make sure I have a good microphone. Stuff like that. Because I'm telling you, I want you to see what I didn't see.